Which states have shifted the most on a presidential level from 2004 to 2020? Today on Political Access, we're going to go through each state and see what the changes are. I've already done this for some other elections, so feel free to take a look at those if you'd like. But let's get right into this one here. The first column is each state. The next column is the 2004 Democratic vote, which was John Kerry. Next column is the 2004 Republican vote, which was George W. Bush. The next column is the 2020 Democratic vote. That would be Joe Biden. And then the next column is the 2020 Republican vote, which would be Donald Trump. The next column is the Democratic shift between 2004 and 20. And the next column is the same for the Republicans. And the final column, all the way on the right, is the net change between those two shifts. And I also did some shading for this column. Over a 10-point margin, those are the darkest red and blue. All the way down to under a 5-point margin, those are going to be the light red and blue. So are there third-party candidates that could affect things? Yes. Is this going to be a perfect comparison? Nothing really is, but if you want to just look at two presidential elections, you've got to just take the data you have, and that's what I've done. Now, I didn't have any specific goal behind this. I just like to take a look at the shifts. This particular one is not going to be pretty for the Republicans. 2004 was probably their high point in recent memory. It's the last time they won the popular vote. They did have the incumbent, George W. Bush. He did win re-election, and since then there's been a lot of shifts in various states. Some of these are going to be a little surprising. Some of the other ones, not so much. But a lot of times you do forget how politics have changed over the past 1 to 2 decades. Having said all that, let's get started in Alabama. In 2004, the Democrat John Kerry got 36.8% of the vote. George W. Bush got 62.5%. Fast forward to 2020, Joe Biden got 36.6%. Donald Trump got 62%. That is a net loss of 0.2% for the Democrats. Half a point loss for the Republicans. The net change is a shift toward the Democrats by 0.3%. So not much movement at all from Alabama. So moving quickly through the rest of this, the next state is Alaska. That went hard toward the Democrats by 15.6%. In Arizona, that also went double digits toward the Democrats by 10.8%. Next, in Arkansas, that had a big shift toward the right by 17.9%. In California, another hard lurch toward the left by 19.3%. Next, in Colorado, Republicans actually won that in 2004, but since then it's gone 18.2% toward the left. Next, in Connecticut, that went 9.7% toward the left. Delaware went 11.3% toward the left. Next, in Florida, that actually also went toward the left, but only by 1.7%. It might be a little surprising to see that Florida is even a little bit more Republican than it was in 2020. Next, in Georgia, that shifted way away from the Republicans by 16.9%. In Hawaii, that went even more by 20.7% toward the Democrats. In Idaho, that also went toward the Democrats by 7.3%. Illinois, 6.6% toward the Democrats. In Indiana, that went 4.5 points toward the Democrats. Iowa went the other way. That shifted toward the Republicans by 7.5%. Kansas, that went double digits toward the left by 10.7%. Kentucky, that went 6% toward the Republicans. In Louisiana, that shifted 4.1% toward the GOP. In Maine, there was almost no change there, 0.1% toward the Democrats. Maryland, that took a major shift toward the left by 20.2%. Massachusetts also went in that direction by 10.4%. Michigan, small change, 0.6% toward the Republicans. In Minnesota, that went 3.6% toward the Democrats. Mississippi, that also went toward the Democrats by 3.1%. Missouri had a nice shift toward the Republicans by 8.1%. Montana, though, that went toward the left by 4.2%. Nebraska, big shift there toward the Democrats, 14.1%. Nevada, that also went toward the left. It used to be a little bit more Republican-friendly, shifting away from the Republicans by 5%. New Hampshire, also away from the Republicans toward the Democrats by 6%. New Jersey, same situation, toward the Democrats by 9.2%. How about in New Mexico? Republicans actually won that state in 2004. But since then, it's gone 11.5 points toward the Democrats. In New York, 4.9 toward the Democrats. North Carolina, that used to be much more of a red state, that went 11.1 toward the Democrats since 2004. In North Dakota, we have a little bit of a red shift here by 5.9%. In Ohio, it's similar, a 6% shift toward the Republicans. Oklahoma, a mild 1.9% shift toward the Republicans. In Oregon, that went hard toward the left by 11.9%. Pennsylvania, mild 1.3% shift toward the Republicans. The next state is Rhode Island. That had almost no change, only 0.1% toward the Democrats. South Carolina, it's a red state, but it went 5.4 toward the Democrats. In South Dakota, that went 4.7 toward the Republicans. And in Tennessee, that had a nice shift toward the right by 8.9%. How about down in Texas? We already know that shifted toward the left, and we can see here 17.3%. In Utah, it's another big lurch, 25.1% toward the left. In Vermont, also double-digit shift, 15.3 toward the Democrats. Virginia as well, that went toward the Democrats by 18.3. Washington, also over double digits, 12 points toward the Democrats. In West Virginia, that's the opposite story. That went massive toward the Republicans by 26%. Wisconsin, almost no net change, 0.3 toward the Democrats. And the last state is Wyoming. That went a modest 3.5 toward the Republicans. And we could take all of this data here and apply it to a map to get a better visualization. And here it is. And as I already said, this is not what you want to see if you're the Republicans. Again, I know it's comparing 2004, an incumbent president, to 2020. But still, there's a lot of dark blue shifts here in a lot of states you would not expect to be friendly toward the Democrats. I know every presidential election has its specifics. It's going to have its oddities. But the clear takeaway here is the Republicans collapsed in the vast majority of states. And some of these shifts have resulted in certain states being in play now, like Georgia, like Arizona. Other states we think of as swing states today may be trending toward the right, like Florida and Nevada. Those already were more Republican-friendly in 2004. So it's fun to take a look at some of these shifts. I wouldn't try to draw too many conclusions from it. And I'm sure I can take a look at some other years and see the Democrats, where they lost a lot of ground in a lot of states. Maybe we'll take a look at that coming up. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about the shifts for these two elections? Which states are you most surprised by? Which are you not surprised by? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.